everyone, it's Tracy. Welcome back to my channel, doing something a little different today. I'm using the scraps that I had for my Auburn lane. This isn't all the scraps I had, but I was taking part in the scrapbook party that Scrapbook Generation had, and they had quite a few challenges for cards, and I haven't made cards in a long time. So I decided to go ahead and play with them because I absolutely love this kit and I know it's perfect for card making. So I am going to be making 3 cards for this video, and if you don't like card making, that's okay, just move on to another video. I've been doing videos for about 3 years. There's plenty to choose from. If not, just catch me on the next one. I don't do very many card videos. In fact, I have a couple this month, but you know what? Variety is the spice of life. Anyway, let's get back to the video. And this is the first card. Now, some of the cards are a little bit more complicated. And when I mean complicated, it means it has a lot of layers. And this is the one that has the most layers, I believe. And I think that when you have lots of layers and dimension, that's what sets your card apart from just the average card that's out there. So as you can tell, the very bottom base of it is a happy horizontal, and the card size is called an A2 size. So it is 5.5 by 4.25. And I've got it, as a vertical orientation. And anyway, so I've got the happy horizontal. On top of that, I put a banner. And, because I used all from the same collection, everything just works really. In fact, it's from the kit. So there's going to be some pieces on here that may be from other collections, but it's a kit that I had put together. Anyway, so whenever I got that little oval frame, I needed to put something behind it because that houndstooth was a little too overwhelming. So I used a tone-on-tone gray, and I didn't have enough to cover up the whole oval, but that's okay because I covered it up with my floral. And the floral is, something that I had cut out, and as you can see, I'm putting foam tape behind it. And then the little book plate is from copper foil. And underneath that, I also needed to put something behind it. And so it's this little, it looks like a dictionary, it has word definitions. And that is actually from the Authentique collection. But it was part of my kit. It's very difficult to see that in this floral, it does say thankful. You can barely tell in real life, but it's so, so pretty. So what I did with my smaller scraps, I had cut out these little hearts from a die that I got from Simon Says Stamp, and later on in the video, you'll be able to see what the die looks like. I use it a lot, and it just makes the teeny tiniest little hearts, and I just uh, die cut them and then add it to my ephemera pack. And then add some sequins, and it is done. Okay, on for the second card. It is also going to be vertical. Oh, before I do that, so this is what I do is I kind of look through my stash and see what I like that goes together. What I loved was this dark card, and I don't like the saying on it, so I want to cover it up. And the card is a 3x4, and so I know it's going to fit perfect. So I've got it there on my card base. Well, I already know that I need to put something underneath that, and having a variety of colors is important. So I needed to go through my 6x8 paper pad. I'm looking for something that is light in color. And so I choose this floral color. And I'm thinking that I am going to die cut this out with a stitched frame die. Well, those are the dies, and I think it's from Little Inkers. But what happens is, what it does is that die only does the stitching lines. It doesn't cut it out. It has been so long since I've used them that I couldn't remember. So I was like, oh, well, so I end up having to cut it out anyway. You could barely see the stitching line. So to me, that was pretty much a waste. I should have just cut it out. Oh, goofball. And then, I just use my ATG gun to glue that to my card base. If it's a little bit sticking over the edge, here I'm showing you the die where you can only see the stitching line. There's no cutting line on that. If there's a little bit that's hanging off of your page or your card, just trim it off. No big deal. No one's going to notice. And then by putting that pink band in it, it really helps draw your eye in towards the middle. And it kind of has that happy horizontal look again. And I love this copper washi tape. Oh, I just love that. I love that size. I love the little 1/4 inch size. That is my favorite size. If I could buy all the colors in that size, that would be perfect. Now, I have found that to make your card have more appeal to the eye is you have a little bit going off the edge so that your eye just wants to line things up, but it kind of gives it some interest when you have, like, I've got the little banner there that's not right up against that dark card um, edge, and having it going off of the edge just really draws your eye, you know, around the card. As you can tell, this is a little copper foil thank you. Got to put on some foam tape. I'm looking for I believe I'm looking for some hearts. Some of them are the copper color hearts. Now, I'm looking for a dark green. That's what I'm looking for. And there is the die that I was talking about. And I'm using a scrap as small as this and running it through. In fact, I run it through twice, so I'm using up that whole scrap. I punch all the stars and hearts right into that um, little bin that I keep on my ephemera. And that way I know that I can use it for later on. And I use 3 of the hearts. And the one that I'm going to put at the bottom, the one down at the bottom, you're not even going to see. It kind of gets lost there. Now, sometimes I put the glue on the heart, sometimes I put it right on the card. It doesn't really matter, but I just decided to do the card this time around. And of course, my fingers are just too big, so using those tweezers are perfect. And if you know anything about me, I love sequins, and so I'm using the sequins that came with the Auburn Lane. And I used the Distress Collage Medium to glue those down. That's easy peasy. This one was a little easier. Didn't have as many layers. I consider this one, a pretty easy card to make. Once again, using lots of dimension, lots of colors, sets your card apart from other people. You want them to save it, right? You want them to never want to throw it away. Well, to me, that's what you do. You add layers and dimension and a lot of interest. This is going to be the last card, and I'm going to do it in the horizontal. And I'm just trying to use up my scraps, but I end up needing to get something dark. So I'm looking for something dark. And it's always nice to have, like, a focal base. Like, the first card was that oval, the second one was the, 3 by 4 card. Well, this card, I'm gonna use this wreath and I just trim around it. You can barely see the maroon, which is fine. It's, has a copper foiling on it, and it really doesn't take long to fussy cut this out. And because I'm using this, I need to have something dark to put behind it. So I got this, it's a dark green. It's hard to tell, but it has, copper, words on it, and then I'm using the rest of this most of this scrap of this floral. So just having the contrast of the 2 patterns. There I go again with that 1/4 inch copper washi. Oh, I just love that. Gotta make sure that my words are, in the right position, that I'm not putting them on upside down. Now I'm looking for something to, like to be the foundation for um, the greeting that I'm gonna use. At this point, I'm not sure what type of greeting I'm gonna do. The first 2 are like thank you cards, but this one's gonna be more generic. So I'm just trying to get some different, elements of, color and depth, looking at stickers, looking at the die cuts. Yeah, I have tried to use that beautiful so many times. I just can't get it to work. That ampersand that I put on my card, that is a die that I had, and I had some scraps, and I just cut a bunch of, dies from my scraps and added it to my ephemera. And of course, here is the copper alpha. It's just gonna be hello. It's gonna be super, super simple. Here's a label. It's kind of going to be at the base of, the word, of my greeting. One nice thing about the ATG gun, you can lift up, the things that you glue down. It's not like a wet glue. Once you put it down, it's down forever. You got a little bit of wiggle room whenever you use the ATG. One of my favorite things about it. Now, these are thickers. They have to be glued down, and these are not very sticky. So without a doubt, I needed to use wet glue to glue those down. And this one was really simple. I didn't do any, dimensional other than the thickers. I found another heart that I had cut out from a scrap. I also put down a couple sequins. Oh, yeah, I did 3 hearts. Yep, and then there's the sequins. Well, if you stayed to the end, I wanna thank you, and if you are if you like me to show other cards that I make, I can do a few. I just don't like to do too many. I started as a card maker, uh, before I was a scrapper, so anyway, here's a close-up of all of the cards that I created, and I wanna say thanks, guys. Just let me know if you wanna see more card making videos. I appreciate you so much. Alright, thanks a lot. Have a great day. Bye-bye.